I'm going to call this you telling on yourself. Let's get into it. The Bible says in Matthew 12:34, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
I'm going to put y'all on game, okay? My uncle taught me, you let a person talk long enough, they will eventually tell on themselves.
Don't judge right away. Let them talk. As soon as they say some crazy stuff or some stuff you know is out of pocket and you...
Part of building a thick skin is realizing that people will say and do things to try to make you feel like you're less than, to give you an insecurity that they themselves have.
I'm going to call this you telling on yourself. Let's get into it. The Bible says in Matthew 12:34, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So take inventory, family. I'm going to give you some clues, and this may help you understand you better and the people around you better. So pay attention. Do people say that you are petty, rude, bitter, mean, overly aggressive about the smallest things? That reveals an angry heart. Do people say that you are negative, that you tend to jump to the worst case scenario? That reveals a fearful heart. Do people tend to say that you are showy, that you like to show off and brag, show people how well you're doing, how amazing you are? That reveals an insecure heart. Do people say that you talk too much, that you tend to overshare unnecessarily? That reveals an unsettled heart. Do people say that you're judgmental, that you are hard on other people for what they say and what they do, shoot, even what they wear? That reveals a guilty heart. People say that you are overly critical of others, that you always got to critique. That reveals a bitter heart.
Hey guys, so something that I've been trying to do recently is to not be emotionally reactive, try to take a step back and observe things and behavior from people and things like that and kind of make sense of it that way. It's very interesting to do this. But something that I wanted to share is that you'd be surprised at how much people tell on themselves. And I'm talking about when people maybe make jabs or passive aggressive comments to you or to other people. If you kind of take a step back and observe it, they're actually communicating something else that's not obviously what they're saying. So obviously that's not always the case. Sometimes it's not that deep. Sometimes people are just having a bad day, or maybe they are reacting to something that you did, but it's kind of a reminder to not take things personally. So I'll give you an example. So if you're a person who puts a lot of, if you put effort into the way that you look, if you make an effort to look nice, to look polished, typically if you're a woman, but I don't want to discriminate, can happen to men too. And there's somebody who makes a comment that's something like trying to embarrass you for putting effort in, or try to make you look dumb for trying too hard or something like that, of like, oh, I could never spend that much time getting ready, or you put a lot of effort in, look, whatever, something like that, where it's clearly like passive aggressive. It's not a genuine compliment the way that you look. Here's the translation of that. The translation is, I feel insecure next to you because I'm too lazy to put in the same amount of effort, and it shows with both of us side to side. So that's a situation where it has happened to me before, and it has made me feel bad about myself before I realized what was actually going on. Because I do like to put effort into my appearance. Thank you. Or it could be if you are putting yourself out there and you're trying to do something new or whatever it is, and somebody says something that says that it's like embarrassing or something like that, or they try to disparage it and make you feel dumb for trying. The translation for that is, I want to do the same thing, but I'm too scared and I'm envious that you have the courage to do it. So in order for me to take power back, I'm going to make you feel bad about yourself for doing it. So I just want to remind you again to not take things personally, and maybe take a step back and try to observe it as like a third party spectator who has no stake in the game. You're just kind of observing humans' behavior. And I think you'll be surprised at how much people tell on themselves about their own insecurities and their own issues. And 8 or 9 times out of 10, it has nothing to do with you.
Part of building a thick skin is realizing that people will say and do things to try to make you feel like you're less than, to give you an insecurity that they themselves have. And if you listen, instead of just rejecting it or trying to come back at them, if you listen, you'll find out what exactly they're insecure about, and then you'll feel really bad for them. Like, if someone's ever telling you, oh, like, you do too much, or you don't really care what people think, this person's probably just insecure about the fact that they're not able to do and live their life in the way that they actually want to because they themselves are too insecure. Or when people tell you, oh, you think too highly of yourself, it's like, no, you think highly of me and you don't think as highly about yourself. And that's honestly really sad. And when you listen to it, you're like, dang, I kind of feel bad for you. You know what I mean? Like, because honestly, everyone has insecurities. I have them too, but there's a difference between having an insecurity and feeling the need to bring other people down to feel better about yourself. Because that's just like more on like the character side of things. Like, you don't have to make other people feel bad because they're living a life that you would like to live, because you are not empowered enough or feeling bold enough to do it. You know what I mean? So I think that's really important to keep in context. Oh my god, I just choked on this. I pray for people that have this mentality, because I'll see them. Like, I'll definitely hear a lot of stuff that they're saying, and I'm like, wow, like, this person has been through a lot. They've dealt with, whether it be like rejection, they've dealt with people in their own lives being mean to them. And I know people do like, oh, like hurt people and all that, but it's honestly true. Like, when you are happy and content in your life, you don't have time to be negative towards other people. Like that, like, you don't have time. You cannot find it within yourself to talk smack about people, to judge people. The most judgmental people I've met were judge themselves first, and they want to judge other people because they want to keep it going. And it's like, if you know that being judged hurt you so badly, why would you want to see that in the world? Like, don't you want to be the change that you want to see? Yeah.
Pay attention to the things that people say and do in the beginning of relationships and friendships, because people often tell on themselves. So the things people say and tell you in the beginning and the things that they do are who they are. So if they're saying things like, I don't know if I deserve you, or if I don't know if I'm in the right place, or they're talking shit about other people, or if they are acting inconsistent or not interested or not like a great person in your life, they are telling on themselves. So watch. You do not want to get too attached and then overlook these red flags because of that. Start noticing what people are saying and doing, because they are telling you what to expect from them. Are you listening?
Don't judge right away. Let them talk. As soon as they say some crazy stuff or some stuff is out of pocket and you ain't gonna stand for, act like you didn't hear it. Act like that shit just normal. Don't react at all. Let them keep going. You'd be surprised how much people open up when you just don't judge or don't react. Then you can move accordingly.
I'm gonna put y'all on game, okay? My uncle taught me, you let a person talk long enough, they will eventually tell on themselves. And I didn't understand what he meant until I actually experienced it. So I was having a conversation with this person, and I was explaining to them how I'm not afraid to express my vulnerability. And my go-to way for doing that is through tears. Like, I'm not saying I'm a crybaby. Crying to me just signifies I'm overwhelmed with something and I'm expressing that vulnerability. I'm gonna cry. Now, the person that I was talking to just casually stated, I can't let nobody see me cry. I can't let nobody see me vulnerable, because then they're just gonna try to use it against me. Y'all, what that person was saying was, any type of vulnerability or insecurity that you show me, I will most definitely use against you when the time comes for it. So please pay attention to the words somebody say to you and how they say it, because when they think you're not listening or when they think you're not catching on, they will most definitely tell on themselves.
So this is something I didn't want to be right about, but life is continuing to prove to me that I am right. I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I'll tell y'all my story here. So I've only had 2 serious romantic relationships in my life. I would say, like college and on is what I would say is serious. And so in the first one, I remember during the early stages of our relationship, he made this really, really big deal about like me and the men in my family, like, we would never cheat on our women. It's just such a taboo thing, and it's just something none of us believe in. Like, we're the most loyal group of men, blah, blah, blah. And lo and behold, that's what ended our relationship. And then in my most recent relationship, he really was super adamant in the beginning about like, I'm gonna always be honest with you. I will always be honest with you. Continued to like make that like the hill he was gonna die on throughout our entire relationship, right? And then come to find out, when he was breaking up with me, he kept being like, it has nothing to do with my feelings for you. Those feelings haven't changed. I just really need to be single and I need to be alone for a little while. Lo and behold, he was telling other people that he actually had started to lose feelings for me and doubt the feelings that he had for me. And he's basically already pretty much dating somebody else. And he started talking to her a few weeks after we broke up. We dated for like 2 years. So essentially my takeaway here is that in the talking stage to early dating stage of a relationship, whatever your partner is like, I'm this, or I'm gonna be this, or I'm not this, is actually what they are, and likely what will end the relationship ultimately. And that's so weird to me, because when I'm with somebody, I don't feel the need to make statements like that. Like, I don't feel the need to be like, I'm gonna always be honest with you, or I'm never gonna cheat on you. Like, I just am those things. And I've really like taken account of those relationships and like of everybody that I've ever cared about. And I have never actually said something that I don't mean to anybody in a serious relationship. Like in my last relationship, he was constantly saying things like, I choose you. I'll choose you every day. I want to be with you for a long time, like yada yada. But the thing is, like, why'd you feel the need to say you choose me when you're not going to choose me? I never once said I'm going to choose you. I just did it. It was just my actions. I never needed words. Anyways, I just think it's really weird. Anybody else really?
Sometimes you're in situations where people end up telling on themselves. They end up telling you the things that you thought or the things that you accused them of, okay? And sometimes we think, well, that's just crazy. Why would they just tell me? Or, what's making them tell me now, okay? What's making that person tell you now is guilt, okay? Guilt will eat you up, okay? Guilt makes you feel like it gives you an anxiety of what you did wrong because you're holding something from someone that you truly care about, truly, genuinely, possibly love, but you betrayed that person in whatever way it may have been. The guilt from that situation is going to cause you to confess that because it doesn't sit right in your heart. It doesn't sit right in your spirit, okay? So it's just good to be honest with people, or don't do things that you're going to regret later. Really take the time out to pause.
And this brings us to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Yeah, now you know how someone feels about you. You can know by their words. Just pay attention, let them talk, and you will know the real them. Out of the abundance of their mouths, we shall know how they feel about us. We shall know the real them. So the tip here is pay attention and let them talk. If you have a personal story or a story please do well to share in the comment section down below. Would love to hear your story. Thanks for watching. Till next time, bye. There is more on the channel. You can go and check more videos that you may like. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Till next time, bye.